Okay, let's get back to computer games. You know it. Oh shit! Oh yeah, I forgot we were pissed up. You fucking say you slag. I say yes, Brian. Oh, start recruitment. So can I start recruitment on that chick? Or does she have to not be working? Just seen on Twitter that people want to defund the BBC because someone made a comment about the flag and not because they're money grabbers. Yeah, I'd be up for defunding them because they're money grabbers, but I don't give a shit about flags. Flags. Hey, you're a worker of sorts. You're a maintenance worker. What are you saying? You're unemployed. What are you doing? Museum administrator. Oh, well, that sounds pretty fun, but... Free Wi-Fi? Oh shit, I didn't even see that. What else have you got on this window? Pub guide. Hey, can I... It said open close. Was that just on the door? Plumber. Evasive driving. Oh, okay. Okay, I'll have a little chinwag.
For the last time, leave me be. I'm innocent.
Please calm down.
Apologies. I thought you were with Albion. Those mercs have been hounding me all day. It's been quite a bother.
Tell me what the problem is, and we may be able to help.
It's so strange. One day I'm
Fucking Winnie
Mr.
the Pooh
Model
over here.
Citizen. The next, they're stopping me at every checkpoint, like I killed the royal family or something. Some former
you did.
lover must be feeding false reports against me to
Conversation did
CTOS.
118 seconds, right?
Possibility. Do you have any enemies?
Well, there's my former lovers, like I said, but there are so many. It'd be impossible to narrow down. But you must have some skilled hackers in your group. Can't you just hack the system and tell me who it is? Help me, and I'm confident we can work out a reciprocal arrangement. Use your imagination.
All right. No time to waste then.
Okay. So have I got to do something for him, I guess? Personal sports vehicle, randomly gambles, and cryptocurrency. Sounds cool. Alright. Let's turn that right. You're going that way now, buddy. You too, in fact. Good stuff and shit. It's just the enemy. Oh, but we can actually recruit them too. Let's try and chat to him.
Think you're allowed to be here? Jog on.
I don't want to jog. How old is the game? October 2020? Yeah. Not long at all. Still fairly new. Mission started? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I just wanted to see what that was. Well, now, do I...
Building a resistance group requires operatives with specialized skills. Technical abilities, firearms handling, and physical training are all valuable. Bare-knuckled boxing rings are a good place to find people who are good at throwing punches, or taking them. By defeating each opponent in an arena, you'll have an opportunity to face its best fighter. Prove your physical superiority, and they may consider joining DedSec. I'm guessing that's some sort of primate society thing.
Well, chat to this bro. You seemed like you had a pretty good skill set. Not allowed to chat to you, though. Where are you? Can I chat to you now? No? Is it because I'm already chatting to that other person? I think I'll take this bike. No one seems to be using it.
The cameras around us, and with every clip we make online, seems like everything we do.
God, the frames go horrible on this.
Why are data giants like Blue so hungry?
Faces and voices are horrid. Yeah, right.
And our metadata. What
That's a lot of frames if you try and look whilst
ever have
driving.
real private lives again? What is privacy in the digital world? And what happens when capitalism and surveillance become one? As you know, we keep all of them. Speaking from a secure location, here's new technology.
Well, can I get the
strategist
lights on this one?
Charles, who worked all over the world trying to keep democracy strong in the face of the data assault.
If you have enough personal data on somebody, you're able to predict what it is.
Oh
that
shit.
they're going to use.
Oh shit, I raised it. My bad. I wasn't sure if it was down yet or not. How you doing? What are you saying? Alright, cool. Yeah, I wanted to have a little look around anyway, you know. Life's too short to do the stuff. You got wellies on? What are you saying? Fuck was that? What are you saying? Alright. Trafalgar Square, all nice and shit.
You fascist! Londoners, don't you feel it? This constant eye watching
KO punch, okay.
criminals! Defend this for our own safety! Get out of our city! The cameras, the ring of steel! Oh, yeah!
Megaphone and shit.
We don't need you here!
I don't want them.
Why are they mandatory? You fascist!
I'm not a fascist, I'm wearing a nice suit.
They keep close watch on us!
You're a pig.
Big
Big up! What are you doing now? What's you? No, she'll never see me run. Not even got pigeons? Nice. Whoa there. Your jacket's incredibly shiny. But you're useless. He just wet himself, nice.
You can tell what they
Huh, there was no one in this car.
passionate about, but most
This car was just driving on its own. I know they have automatic cars and
you
shit,
can
but
tell what someone feels,
Auto drive
then
now
you can
enabled.
manipulate them and you can move them in
Alright.
particular directions. Data is collected on
auto drive, have a
citizens in
little sip of my
every
tea and stuff.
possible way. Data is collected through surveillance.
Are they protesting against
Data
lack of
is
giraffes?
collected
I
from
think so. I
television
think so, yeah.
sets. They don't even
So realistic
necessarily
until you hack a
need
car,
super
then it becomes a bit
television
believable.
sets. Data is collected
Yeah,
from
the hacking cars
voter
bit's probably the
records.
most fun.
It's collected from how much power do you use in your house and how much water do you
let's use
use
a bus
in
to
your
fuck
house.
shit
In
up.
pre-crisis Britain, we got really used to all of our services being free. Everything suddenly became
work as
free
hell.
that
What else
was
was open?
digital. But what people forgot is that if you're not paying for it, then you're the product being sold.
I couldn't hack the
Technology
ambulance.
brings out the worst in capitalism. Capitalism brings out the worst in technology. Senior academic outfit.
Get outta here.
Big business repurposes big data.
Nice.
Historically, what's happened, of course, is that people have traded their privacy and their convenience as smartphones and other kinds of technology came in and became mass-consumed, mass-used items and technological objects.
And he's
Where
off.
actually People were so attracted
Nice.
to the
Good stuff.
affordances of these technologies that privacy kind of retreated.
Londoners always driving into each other and shit. That is true. Yeah, the traffic situation's a bit of a piss take. London's never this clear. Too much spice in her arm. Yeah, you know
Not
it.
just in the obvious ways. Of course, there's a lot of
They on that
worry
crack,
and
Jack.
fear over what they can do with the data, can track anyone, find anyone, see what every individual is doing at any point in time. But I think there's even deeper reasons why this data empowers these huge companies to control our society and make us do things.
Cool.
So lots of predictive technologies which are
see what
implemented by
happens
these
here.
tech giants.
You still
It's
going
not
somewhere?
only interested in knowing what we're going to do, but influencing the patterns of our movements.
Auto drive
So
now disabled.
Technologies might suggest routes to use in the city, places to go, restaurants to go to, cafes to go to, music to listen to. And these suggestions are not just predicting what we might like to do. they're
Oh, shit,
actually
sorry, didn't mean to murder you.
influencing the way citizens
Don't worry, permadeath's not on.
think, eat, meet, and use their city as a space. So London has become a place where a small group of surveillance
Whoa, you see the brakes on that shit?
Bloom can control.
Is
the
this? I
movement
don't
of
believe so. I
individuals.
believe it's meant to be the future because of how high tech everything is. Is there anything? Let's have a quick look. See if there's anything actually would suggest to us. Dislikes dead sec. Well, you prick. Oh, you assholes. Okay, so I'm guessing I can only recruit one at a time. Yeah, and it's definitely the future, but let's see if there's any of these actually say anything about a timeline. Probably at some point one of these will say something about a timeline. Or what year. But it's definitely future. Some when. The not too distant future, I reckon. 2022, maybe, yeah. It was released in 2020. I reckon 2030. I reckon they're 2030. Oh, here we go. Watch Dogs Legion takes place within a fictional representation of near future London circa late 2020s, early 2030s. Okay, after United Kingdom left the European Union. Okay, so this is what Brexit is going to lead us to. At least the taxis are still doing alright. You missed your stop there. I was going to fuck up their post. Oh no, it's alright.
All these technologies can be used to not only influence us to act as a perfect consumer, but also to prevent us from doing radical and revolutionary things. So technology.
Okay, let's do the actual mission then, yeah. Okay.
In-game rewards can be offered to people to take different routes, things like that.
So the red wire is in there. Okay. Oh, I can just go through here, maybe. Jesus Christ, you're in your mid-40s in this universe? Why did you have to say that, Mojo? I'm only like 2 years younger than you. A year and a half, but at the moment it's like 2 because, you know, you're 2 whole extra numbers ahead of me. Alright, let's see what they're saying. Alright. Can I... Okay, I can sort of do that. Okay. Goes like down there somewhere. What are you saying? Oh, is that the thing I'm going to be getting? Hang on. That's what I need to get to at least. Oh, there's one over there. Okay, cool. You're at least 5 years older. Just have youthful looks. Everyone knows I'm like barely 1. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I was meant to be looking for that red wire wherever that's meant to go. Alright. Cool cargo drone. Alright. What'll that do? I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing here, but I just want to blow this dude up. Game. Oh shit, that was too far away. Okay, let's I'm pretty sure I was meant to go onto that one, but This stuff's so non-lethal. So I am just meant to get in here, but I guess the more I fuck up now, the better? Hey, Lavisa! How you doing today? And it's not possible that anyone's older than 9, and I think we've already established that. Get ahead for now, but no worries, dude. You have a great one, Mojo, dude. We will catch you soon, I'm sure. I'm sure I'll play this a bunch as well in the near future, so... yeah, have a great night, dude. Thank you very much for coming by, my man. Oh, what's that actually do? Just a barrier? I was hoping that nerd would have walked over here. Nice. Just arm every trap we find. I'll just try and get her to get in here now. Been outside for a while. Restricted areas, alright.
Albion have established an operational base in the Royal Court of Justice.
And now they have the court. Grand. Albion's
Something I
one
can
step
go in
closer to
there.
being London's judge, jury, and executioner.
Exactly. But it likely means there's information here about how Albion are targeting dissenters, the who and the why. We need that data if we're going to disrupt their operation.
Didn't really keep an eye on how many more there were. Alright, so there's that jabroni up there.
What is this rubbish? Don't fall in a hole.
Get him! 6 units for her, nice, and only 2 rogues. Fucking A, guys. Yeah, we gonna smash that shit. Oh, I've got to do the physical interaction over here, right? Can she slide? Ah, no, I was hoping like power slide. You know. Oh, I've got to do... Oh, that one down there as well. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. Was there anyone else left? Do I have to? I don't even think I need to sneak, right? I've murdered everybody. Got much faith first for a new amongst... Oh, has it actually been announced a date? Fucking A. That's pretty soon as well. Hey, a free parcel. Well, I'm glad this thing doesn't blow up when I go near it, because I didn't think about that until I walked into this little circle. Okay, it's all blue da-ba-dee-da-ba-da. Stand firm. And united. I like the firm part. Well, that's sounds nice. Hey, free stuff. Got some here before I just go to this. Camden Defiance increased. Are we in Camden?
What do we have, Bagley?
A list of what Albion consider high-value targets that are threats to the peaceful running of London. See here, a journalist, and this one runs a community shelter. Good God,
Stairs
bar
over
your
here, aren't they?
doors.
What the fuck?
All suspected of sowing rebellion or exhibiting tendencies towards Albion is systematically arresting people even before they rise up. Joke's on them. This
I'm
list
glad
can
they
actually
automatically
help us
put the
find
mask on.
like-minded allies willing to help us. Well done. Now, let's disrupt some of Albion's propaganda and give some hope to the people.
Oh, there's coin type things over here.
Londoners are very happy with CTOS, and I am not sure.
Oh, and Stream Raider battle is on, yo.
I think 98% of
So
Londoners
we will do
have
that
ever
in just a
the history
sec.
of
I just
London
wanna-
ever agreed on anything. You could not get 98% of Londoners to agree that oxygen was better than breathing a fog of raw liquid feces. And they expect us to believe that everyone agrees CTOS is better than not choking on shit mist.
Shit mist. Nice. Alright, mate, what are you saying?
Specific Londoner.
I've got nothing here so far.
Grew into every crevice of the country. I mean, this is
Alright, cool. Right, let's do the Stream Raider battle quick. Because otherwise I'll forget. So, we have... Oh, it's the sumo dude. These guys are savage, man. Right. This is going to be a tough battle. But how many have we got? 18 people. Let's do this thing. Okay. Nice. That bomber blew up the first wave of the giant sumos. Now it's my rogue and his fellow 4 little roguies. Finish them off. We should do this one, I reckon. You healer left your archers? Oh, savage. Went on for greener pastures. That's right, we done did it. That was beautiful. Good stuff, guys. And I might get extra reward. Beautiful. So next is a 2-star with some swirls. I believe they're called portals. Use that information as you will. So I'm going to put a mage down. And we're going to have a funky good time. I should have put it on the other side. There's more troops there. Yeah. Get them in, yeah.
any old poll. We should say that. This is not any poll. This is an official poll.
It said I can fast travel to any tube station as well. Now, do I have to, can't bother to get that right now. Do I have to physically go to a tube station? Can I hire? Or can I only steal?
In case you didn't study languages,
Just stolen right in front of that policeman too. I guess because of the fact that I didn't mean to do that.
They could publish an official poll saying that.
Yeah, I guess because there's cars that self-drive, it's harder to prove it's not your car. You might just have waited for it to get you. You're on the road. Wait, what happens to... Oh, shit, I didn't mean to press E. God damn it.
They could publish an official poll saying that 10 out of 10 cats prefer cat food to being whacked with a tennis racket, and I would assume that all cats have gone vegan.
Is this the sort of game where they just always make it out?
Choose me.
I trust these polls as much as I trust someone recommending a movie that they watched during a breakup. Your judgment is impaired, Sally. I'll make my own decisions.
I trust those polls as much as I would trust Mary Kelly if she came up to me and said, "Congratulations, Andy, you've just won a free holiday to the south of France in the back of this windowless van."
I think official polls are like the unsolicited dick pics that the government provides us. I didn't ask for it, I don't believe it, it's on an angle, you've artificially
government dick
inflated
pics,
it ahead
eh?
of time, and anyone that falls for one deserves all the disappointment of trying to match it to reality. These polls are absolute rubbish, Andy. I read one the other day that said the plumbing in London was good, and it absolutely is not.
Are police trying to get me now?
Well, we have this
Why?
technology now where they can spy on my every bowel movement. There's a CTOS camera installed inside my underwear.
Oh shit, this is looking more like Camden. Probably not there if we were in Camden earlier. Yeah, good thing about these new polls, right? Apparently they love them. Yeah, this is Camden. Yeah. Camden Market. Okay, nice. Oh shit, well I got to go look around the market. Oh, you can't get into the market? Shit. Didn't it set on fire like 50 odd times or some shit as well? Wait, so if they have that, it's just... do they have the electric ballroom down here? They got another like... He used to be an avid reader. You reckon the update for the map will break all the mods again? More than likely, you're talking about Among Us again, aren't you? Yeah, more than likely, I'd say. Loads of clothes shops there, that's cool though. So then, yeah, they haven't got the pub. That's nuts. I can't remember what the pub's name is, but oh, yeah, I suppose. Nice, I got Camden Lock. Though Camden Lock's looking pretty good. This is, if you ever walk over this bridge in Camden, you will always be offered weed. But I would highly suggest you never buy it. I doubt it's weed. That's part of the market. Oh shit, man. All the vintage shops and that are down in there and that, you know what I'm saying? Usually there's a dude selling like orange juice and shit here. This is pretty cool though, man. This is pretty good. Oh shit, this dude's... Leave it out. Stop fighting innocent people and trying to shoot them, you dickhead. Oh shit, everyone's after me. Oh, it's a gang fight. I heard one say, who the fuck are you, yeah? Oh shit. I'd just like to leave now, please. Fucking Camden, man.
This is London Calling. You're listening to me.
Yeah, that's it. Because dude, Camden, man. It's pretty neat, right? Oh, actually, shit. Hang on. How do I get to Mornington Crescent? I think it's further down that way, isn't it? I wonder if they have Coco. The venue. Let's do the mission here. But Mornington Crescent should be down there. So there should be Coco down there. That'd be cool to see if that's there or not. Also, this station has no lift and it's like the longest fucking stairs ever. I remember one time for a birthday, we were in like shrooms and cacti, and walking down like the hundreds of stairs, just my legs did not know what to do. Nice.
Stop it! I can't take it anymore.
Could be a good recruit.
Hey, what are you doing?
Hold still. Common sense, road safety, not apparent.
Well,
Deep breaths, stay calm.
nothing to see here. Nothing happened. There was never even a car. What are you saying? Good times. Good times. How the fuck do I get into Camden Tube Station? Oh, here we go. I assume it's in the station, right? Or maybe not. This is just fast travel. Okay. Oh, they've upgraded it. Maybe there is an elevator now. Maybe it did need to be on the other side. Let me check down this alleyway, I guess. Get out of the way, nerd. Which way you're going, yeah? Leave me. I must be in private. Actually, do you know what? Come back. I think I actually need you to get up on that roof. Oh, that one's just buggered, isn't it? Yeah. Sweet, I didn't have to get up here. Oh shit, maybe we can climb more than I thought. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm just going to shoot people here at some point. Alright, I can't climb up on these walls. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to get my gun out either. Can I put that away, please? I don't want a gun in my hand. How do I... Oh, hang on. Yeah, there we go. Actually, can I just jump that? I can. Fucking A. She's athletic. Sorry, I spilled coffee. Do you want to join DedSec? Paint bomb, hey? What you saying, fam? Bun that shit. I can hear a robot. Right, drone, hey? Ew. I just had to look up here. You're in good hands.
Crazy
Christ, does Albion have a separate PR team that goes around putting up all this shite? It's relentless.
There's going to be that much less once you're done here. Let's give Camden a break from these eyesores.
Consider it done.
Do I have to do anything now? I see a red marker thing up there. Is that an Assassin's Creed thing? It says hackable. I see the red marker up there, but what's that about? What do I... Have I got to get up there? Okay, cool. Okay, they're answering for me. Beautiful. Let me just check the map, because, yeah, okay, it's right next to us. I reckon it's on the other side, though. They got the homeless people right for Camden, that's cool. I've just been in this area. I was getting ahead of myself. Star Roger coffee, hey? Lovely. Ooh, nice roll.
If you hijacked that scissor lift, you could use it to access the rooftop.
Sizzy and mum. Can I? Yeah, sweet. Up, up and away! Oh, hold on to it. Just want to see how high it goes. Of course, nearly higher than the sun. Actually, we'll bring it back down because we're going to need that in a while. Nope, can't bring it back down. Oh, I fucked that up, didn't I? Hey, there's porta potties up here, though. Portaloos. I'm assuming I can climb this because it's orange. I can. Nice. Wasn't necessarily the colour orange that made me think I could climb it, just how out of place the orange was. There's orange on that too, so orange is clearly something that goes upwards. I thought it was a fruit. Oh yeah. Assuming I carry him around this way. This is also very true, you know, everybody just, you know, climbs on buildings in Camden. Also, it's actually the stuff like this, like say the old reservoir with like the mushroom and that sticking out. Although these buildings aren't exactly as they are, there is one with a shoe, I'm sure. In fact, there is one with scissors, I think. These might actually be what they are. But yeah, Camden Street is filled with buildings with just weird shit sticking out of them. It's cool. I've never seen people without eyeballs there either. So, you know, use that information as you will. To automatically jump over gaps. Woof, okay. Let's do this. Massive penis picture, let's go. We shall never surrender, lowercase r. Challenge complete. Yeah, let's get some. Camden Isles now, baby. Oh, that seems painful.
Yes, nicely done. That'll
Thanks.
get people's attention. Let them know someone is standing up to Albion. Light the spark
I said it
that
before.
they can stand up to.
If nothing else, it'll relieve their eye strain.
Your mum's eye strain. Okay, I'm gonna check the recruitment mission. I don't really want this dude anymore, but we'll give it.
We're already
Give it a go.
seeing results from what you've done. That list we found named a journalist in Camden who's been investigating Albion.
Hard drinker, tough
We reached
drunk,
out,
on
he's
probation.
got
Oh, they sound
information
great.
that can help us. I think
Shopaholic.
you should meet with him.
Send the coordinates to my optic.
Okay.
Thoughts?
We have a CTOS backdoor already, but all the reports are anonymized. If you want to know who's targeting our friend, get me a hard line into a government server.
Good. Data point incoming. Send the coordinates to my optic.
Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're always involved whenever anything goes wrong. From the very
Auto drive now enabled.
And think of this, an automated Nigel cast, surely a step up.
Auto drive now disabled.
You could even program it to have a tiny, tiny sliver
Oh,
of
fucking hell.
And if you have an automated prime minister, you could program it to be...
Oh, fucking hell.
country.
Driving is janky as fuck on this at
Again, I
times.
insist that there's never been a
Maybe that's why they put
Prime
auto
Minister.
drive
I've
in
never
there.
seen him, I've never heard of him. The only times I ever
Why
hear
am I
what the
seeing,
Prime Minister does is it's when nothing
What's your deal?
happens.
Why are you lit up and shit?
I've thought this for a long time.
Pull over.
We would be better off if the Prime Minister was a water watermelon.
What do you do? What's your deal?
So it would be. I think we'd all be happy with that.
Oh, he's part of Albion. Okay, so he's somebody I shouldn't fuck with. Right, get ya.
Diplomatic skills all the time, but the best mark of diplomacy is when nothing happens. So good diplomacy is indistinguishable.
Okay, so those markers are like 5-0 and shit. That's good to know.
4,000 new dream job.
Well, he done. He's not someone we need to worry about anymore.
Because that has set them up for life in modern Britain. That is the one core skill they need, the ability to pretend that they are
There is one with a shoe and a scorpion above it. Yeah, and another with a shoe and some silhouettes. Silhouettes or stiletto? I'm assuming you mean silhouettes, yeah. It's been a while since I've been to Camden now, actually. It's been a good few years. So there could be some differences. But yeah, all the way down, there's loads of shops with just shit sticking out. Man, need London drivers. Okay. How come they're not putting the names on the underground? How are you meant to know which underground you're at? Wait, what did I do? Murder? I mean, it's London. It's a London thing. You know. You can't see me. Don't worry about it.
But at least I don't have to type "where's my nearest coffee shop" into a search engine. At least I don't have to waste anything between 8 and 12 seconds every day going online to look up how I can post the newsroom. And at least I'm not frittering away my precious mental energy.
Any sign of the target?
What do I actually think?
Anyone?
Optic is so secure, Andy. It's more secure than a teenage girl reading a women's magazine. It's more secure than a Canadian with a drinking problem. It's more secure than a young man who's just got his first motorcycle license.
Control, we're returning to
Finally, before we go today,
Sweet. Boston.
bug off to the Prime Minister, who has once again FRO'd to who knows where this week. He sure as hell is not here in London.
One with a dragon. Oh, you're looking on like Google Maps at the moment? Because there was a samurai type dragon one, or like, like more of a Japanese style dragon.
I'm here.
They probably are, right? Oh shit, I'm at a Barbican. Nice. I saw Anushka Shankar at the Barbican. It was a delightful performance. Oh, that's over the other side of the river, though. Yeah. What a water source. Yeah. So that's yeah, nice, cool. That's good shit. Barbican's a cool venue. That's right, drone. Out of range, what about now? My eyes! My horrible, horrible eyes!
Let's report this malfunction. Security systems off again.
Why's she gonna do this to me? I wanted that disabled. You didn't have to die. It's your own fault. And I think everyone can agree with that. The butcher's over here. Oh shit, you're right next to that trap. I'm not even gonna arm it. Just boom, baby, you're dead. Oh, and that's some dude in a cell.
Begin searching.
It's physical interaction, don't we all? Oh, look at this shit. I feel like I'd like to turn that off. Oh, who's he?
We need updated security.
Well, they seem pretty aware of stuff happening. Can I send my spider in? How do I do that? Okay, now we're doing it. Yeah, just images, right, okay. You did shock 2 people in the middle of it. Yeah, but... Camden's all about being shocking, right? Oh, no. Come on, Spider. You got this. You're a magician.
Let's regroup.
I've had about enough of this.
I'm getting fucking tired of this shit. Wow! Can I kill?
Wait.
Well, there goes that. Do I have another one, or is that just dead forever now? I was refreshing. I'm building a new one. Okay. Alright, well, we're doing terrible on this so far. So that door's open, so that's good. There's definitely a lot that's going to murder us if we go in here. I'm going to wait for my spider again, I think.
No sign of the suspect. Let's call it in.
So we just stay like here. Because then if I do this, there's less space for my spider to get caught. Don't see me, you bitch. Look the other way. Get him! Okay, I got it though, right? I downloaded it. I got it, it said it got to 100%, right? Well, there's a power button there now, so...
Moving on.
Oh shit, the drones. I forgot about drones. Drones could probably fuck me up quite easily, right?
Check the doors and corners.
So really, I need to like make a distraction elsewhere. Is there anything I can like use to my advantage around here?
Guard the perimeter.
Oh shit. There we go. Okay, we've got jabroni number 1 here.
All illegal activities will be prosecuted.
Oh, come on, I can't get under there. Bullshit, I'm a spider. I don't want to jump in the water. Oh shit, you see me. Oh, I thought they were going to come over. I'm doing terrible at this.
Keep moving. We're all clear over here.
Probably forgotten what one it is. Oh, I can emote.
Drones sweep the
Good shit. Okay, I just want to change my gadget. Can I not change my gadget? Didn't I have like grenades at one point, or have I lost those now?
That's it. Using lethal force.
Might have fucked up there. These are grenades, I reckon. Gas grenades, in fact. I'm definitely gonna die here. Yeah. We'll retry that one.
To see how much havoc we can cause today, I promise it'll be fun.
I'll get it done.
Okay, I reckon my idea of starting up here wasn't a bad one. Unless that guy sees me. And it's a terrible idea, but... that was fucking stupid. It's so far away now. They're definitely going to see me up there too. Yep. Yep. That was dumb. Okay. Well, let's let it kill us and try again, maybe. Maybe they won't see us coming.
Live alarm. Live alarm. Location sent. Need a 1013.
Connected to the system.
The anonymous reports on our friend read like a terrorist shopping list. Van rental, bulk fertilizer purchase, bulk petrol purchase.
Okay, sounds like someone's building a car bomb.
Yes, only it can't have been him. The timestamps on these reports don't match our GPS tracking.
Okay, apparently that's the best way to stealth it, is just run in, run and gun.
Bagley, run a full analysis on those false reports and locate that bomb. It's imperative we find it before it has a chance to go off.
I traced the IP back to a known Pan Kelly hideout. That's where we'll find our culprits.
Oh shit. Okay, so yeah, all of the actual the stealth when I tried was awful. Just run in and fuck them up. That's the best way to do shit.
Perform a search.
Oh, not you and Bloom and privacy again. You're a broken record.
Not as broken as our city's cars.
Yep, right. Look at them.
Devour, nibbling away on the rotting carcass of a once free Britain.
Yum yum.
Hello, Resistance fans. You're listening to the Mug Podcast, the objective voice of objection for this most objectionable world. I am Andy, not my real name, so good luck finding me, Monsieur.
His real name is Andy, for sure.
In fact, Andrew, and I live in Noticedown. A deluded pseudo-reality of my own making, which is in fact the most densely populated place on Earth these days, overcrowded, some might say. Joining me, as always, my next
Yeah, actually, hang on. 2
seconds.
seconds. I just want to see if we can put that one into the water.
It is Alice. Alice, who the bleep is Alice? I am not going to tell you that.
Ah, now the barrier does help.
You
Okay.
can just sort of sense it from the timbre of my
Alice,
voice.
Alice, who the fuck is
Find
Alice?
out where we're getting today's news from. Here, it's coming from here. I must get a new wheel with at least one other place on it. And the headline today, Alice, our borders are safe. We can all sleep easy in our well-bordered
cool.
beds.
I like sleeping easy.
4,000 illegals were deported last
Whoa.
month. These illegal people breaking the law just by existing, and of course illegality is
Breaking the law just by existing.
by
Savage.
standing next to it. So we've got rid of 4,000 of them. My
It's a
question
nice
to you
art
is,
round,
why
London.
only
Yeah.
4,000? Is that really enough? I will not feel safe until at least another 75 million people have been deported from this country, and I'm here in Britain on my own.
As a bleeding heart lefty, Andy, I would normally be.
I wouldn't mind that, like a
about
day
this,
where
but
you just
really,
had
I
like
think
the
mass
entire country to
deportation is a
yourself.
very
It'd be a
handy way
lovely
to
day.
break up with a partner. I'm sorry, baby, I love you, but an anonymous source has reported you for snoring really loudly in a French way.
Save Brixton. Oh shit, we're in Brixton.
No
Nice.
exceptions, Alice, not even you. It's for the good of the country. Everyone out. Unless
Oh,
you
shit.
can prove that your family are in
It's
the
the
background
academy.
on the Bayeux Tapestry cheering on King Harold at the Battle of Hastings in 1066. Get out. Actually, that's not British enough.
I'm liking it so far. I haven't done too much in the missions, I guess. Like, we're just doing the early stuff. But I'm loving London so far. There's a real nice attention to detail a lot of the time, and there's been a good few times already so far that, like, at least me and Bakura have like been like, oh shit, that's here.
I guess when you look at it, you know, the best way is to...
I've got a vehicle with a Wi-Fi bomb detonator somewhere on the premises. Get me a link up and I can disable it.
All right.
I'll say Brixton was the same. Yeah, man, the attention to detail's been nuts so far. This is another recruit mission, so I can get another cool beam. What are you up to? What are you saying? I've already got 6G. That's why I got this lady. What about you? What you got any pluses? You can hack vehicles. All right. Well, we all can. So this isn't the entrance to the building, is it? Excuse me. Shit, could you imagine living here, man? Like, fuck that. It'd be so noisy. Like, you open your window for some fresh air and it's way worse. Transient, alright. Begs for cryptocurrency. Wardrobe supervisor. Huh. What are you saying? Isn't that nice? Look at your phone. What are you saying? Choreographer, nice. Oh, and dance around, that's pretty cool. Okay. Spidey bot, do your thing. I can't take people down with him, can I? Although he doesn't seem too bad. Oh, hello.
There's the bomb.
Shit, Stream Raiders is ready. Let's watch this dude explode. Sweet, let's do Stream Raiders. Oh, wrong button. Oh, I did escape. I didn't mean to do that. Now I have to redo that. Bollocks. The story for this game is brilliant. Oh, okay, cool. The details are glorious and the way the character works is actually quite nice too. It's a real shame because the game was quite good. Just the voices really bugged you, right? That more than once you ran into the same character twice right in front of one another that had the same voice. Oh, I hate that shit in games, yeah. At least after Cyberpunk, it can't be worse. Okay, let's do Stream Raiders quick. Okay. We are here on the battlefield. So, I'm gonna... Actually, let's get haste. Let's get these lads down there so they can get to the cards quicker. Let's rock and roll. Good amount of people in here. 33 allies as well. Fucking A. Although we lost 2 straight away. What? Oh, this is a massacre though. Look, we're just wiping them out. It's not even a competition. These troops over here, if they can get there, yeah, they didn't even need to get there if they had pure wipeout. Beautiful, lovely, GG. Einen and Almighty got that reward. Good stuffs. So we're gonna go up because we're gonna try and get to that loyalty chest because I don't think we can't go to this one now. Okay, yeah, we'll go towards the green loyalty chest. So we'll go for this free skull one in the meantime. How does Einen always get the rewards? I don't know. I'll try not to do it random next time, maybe. But I don't think... Einen hasn't got loads of rewards today. I think Almighty's had the most today out of people on stream, but... Yeah. Oh, always on yours? He just got hacks. You know Almighty had hacks. He's probably made profit selling some to people like Einen, you know. Yeah, get out, man. Get out. It's dangerous over there. And it's gone. Is there nothing camera-wise I can hack? Alright, throw another little. My spider hadn't been found? That's pretty nuts. That was the bomb vehicle as well. And then that could have just exploded. In life grand. Come now. Spider bot. A spider bot does whatever a spider bot can. So, okay, let's try and drive this out somewhat. I did the wrong way. Oh shit, that's actually quite a... Oh, I can just hack it? Wait, hold up, I can just hack it? Well... out of range. Spider bot, casually blowing up stuff, spider bot. How am I being detected? What's going on? Oh, I was being detected. What? Who? What? Why? What? Why would he just straight up just killing me? And why is S the retry button? Weird, hey? Okay, pure skill, right? Is it because of kills or something? I think it is usually whoever gets the highest kills and assists gets it, right? Adversary? What's your fucking deal, mate? It seems like he'd be a good recruit, though. Alright, so I need to get somewhere that's chill for me, because people aren't very friendly to this lady. Oh, why not? Go on then. What's this do? Oh shit, hello. What are you doing? Giving me some free cargo, or what's happening here? I guess I'll hijack you. Huh. Right. Well, this is pretty cool. I quite enjoy this so far. I can't do it backwards. Oh. Can I lower? Oh, hang on. Show controls. Yeah, I can. Control goes down more. Okay. Oh, this is much bigger than I thought. Hang on. I thought I had those perspectives still to be had. They won't see me here, right?
Do your thing, Bagley.
They won't see me. Thought you were more active in chat than you had a chance on random. Oh, maybe. But even when you sweat, maybe it increases the chance of winning for that. And then next to you and climb on top. Oh, okay, I'll give that a shot. This just seems to be working alright at the moment. Get that waste man. Let's get that waste man, fam. Yeah, fam, I got this. You know what I'm saying? Of course a horse, fam. Of course a horse. Know what I mean? You need lockdown, yeah? They're fucking around, yeah? Rascals. Anyway, can I carry on my hack, please?
This fucking thing's hacked. Let's find who's doing it. Has to be here somewhere.
You don't see me. You don't see me. Oh, come on. Yo, what you saying, Noble Corey? Yeah, you going for a smoke? Yeah. And cool, dude. Sounds good. Oh. That's pretty boss. The fact we can just, yeah. I hope the trains don't come through that often. Actually, yeah, maybe that's what I should keep in mind.
Huh, no one. I'll look this way.
Damn, that was good. I'm gonna dig you up, hacker. The wheels on the bus go round and round, yeah.
Hold up. What's happening here? Someone's hacking this. Find them. Run a check on that vehicle. Okay.
Run the rhythm.
More than a coincidence.
What's more coincidence?
Find the techer that hacked those wheels.
Some hackers messing with this thing. Done. The bomb's dead. The only way it's exploding is if it's hit with another, larger bomb.
Grand. The day's been saved. By us.
Now get out of there so we can contact our friend.
Your suspicions were correct. Clan Kelly was using CTOS to set you up for a car
Fly,
bomb.
fly.
The matter's been dealt with now.
My God. I owe you. Name anything. Anything.
DedSec is looking to fill the ranks. You should join.
All right.
Can I increase the speed of these? Because if so, why would I ever use a
Let's
car?
have some fun.
Do you have any stadiums here as well? Okay, so now I can be matey with a hat.
Someone's hacking this. Find them.
No one's hacking anything. I don't know what just did. I think I just turned it off. Okay. So, oh yeah, the bare knuckle thing. Let's have a little punch up. Oh, there's loads. There's bare knuckles. Okay. So we go left. Oh shit. Actually, yeah, let's take this moment to get onto this a bit more. No, we can't? Alright.
This has been compromised. Be on the lookout for a hacker.
I guess they'd be so used to drones just flying overhead, they wouldn't even check if there's people standing on them, would they? But it'd be like the new craze, like, you know, where like you would always get those people climbing on trains and shit, like for their thrills. If this happened, you'd definitely get people jumping on top of these when they could, just for like shits and gigs. That's it. Put your hood on. It's cold outside. Let's see. They got some blocks in here. I was going to say it's not London without some blocks. This is extremely slow. This is probably still the quickest way to travel through London, though. Like, if we were taking a car, we got to go through all these systems. Hopefully it's like constant renewable energy too. Oh, there's a train. Get him. Oh. Man, this fight club's super far away. really should just get... Oh wait, no, here it is. It's just here. Cool. I was gonna say I really should just get a car. But is the fight club... The fight club's inside the building? That seems like a whole nother thing, right? So it's on like the second floor. Okay, oh, maybe we're right on the second floor.
All right, you're here. Let's find the thing. Getting close.
Warmer. Warmer. Super cold. Probably is up there, right? Raise lower. Hang on, what's that? Oh, for down there more than likely. See this ladder's there. Here we go. Hey, how you doing?
Hello, hello. Aren't you the tough one?
What?
How would you feel about fighting someone worth your time?
Go on.
The champ here, she's a real nasty woman, a total maniac.
On a
I'm
dance
telling
floor,
you,
or?
it's not even safe to watch her. I've had to toss her out for attacking the bloody audience.
Are you sure?
Cool, blimey.
I swear. But you know, it's her unpredictability that makes it so much fun. I'd pay good money to watch her fight you.
You don't even know who I am.
Tough enough, right? At
No.
least consider it.
Never. Cool, yeah. But you yeah, you're not that great. Alright, let's punch some fools. Okay. Okay, let's go for it. Probably lose, but might as well go for it. Yeah, the accents are awful on this. They really are. You want to fight me? But I'm about to do this. Can't double fight. It's illegal. Yeah, the accents in this are absolutely awful. Rhonda Davis. Bare knuckle amateur. Just fighting in my suit and my glasses. That's dangerous, right? Get glass in my eyeballs. You say that. Oh, no, that twat. Oh shit, she got me there.
That's the shit we like to see on our people. Just like a proper live highlight reel. Did you all see that monster on the stream? Fucking hell.
Not even a fucking hell. They might as well have hired me, man. Yeah, they may as well have. Wait, wasn't she the boss lady that was going to fight? Alright, let's go for this prick. Wearing the shorts and everything. Fucking slaves. Just a fucking club beatdown. Oh, slowing down like a sack of bricks, I tell you. So, I mean, how many of these? Everyone's wearing shorts. Should I wear on shorts? Maybe my suit wasn't the best idea. I'm starting to realise that now. You gonna try and hit me? Go on. Oh, you grabbed me and hit me? That's bullshit. Kind of. Let's go, fool. Slam dunk. She's fucking done it. She's fucking done it.
She can't be contained. She's uncontrollable and unbeatable. Come on, folks.
Why is there a drone? Why would you film this? Oh, now I'm actually going against the own. Wait, they got. Never fights without a clutch of smoke bombs. Is that legal? Why wasn't I given that option? I would like smoke bombs. And I suppose smoke bombs are not really going to help them, are they? But I might end up punching them.
Hardly a challenge.
Okay, let's rock and roll. Fucking Teague and O'Connell. Look, they've already got bruises and shit. They already got their asses handed to them at some point. Since boxing never actually did that after the demo fight. Yeah, this is the bare knuckle boxing. Apparently just did the counter thing is the easiest thing to do there. Oh, but I've already knocked her out. What's this shit? What's this shit? I've already done it, and now she's putting on a metal mask? The fuck? I've already beaten you. What's this about?
You're gonna get hurt.
Yeah, I probably will, because I have to punch a metal fucking mask now. What's this bullshit?
You're in serious trouble now.
Fuck's sake. Come on, take a swing.
You think to protect?
There you go, stay down now. Stay the fuck down. There we go. 100 cryptocurrency.
You just made yourself a proper lumpy bit of dosh.
I should have gambled, yeah. Wait, don't we kill them? I thought this was like gladiatorial bare knuckle boxing, not just bare knuckle boxing. Oh, okay, so I can recruit some. Fast knockouts, takes less melee, fast knockouts. Oh, okay, she's way better. Was it her? No, she's the best. Okay, nice. Oh, drug dealer, hey? Shit, we should get him on our team. Nah, she doesn't have much more to offer. See ya. Okay, we're going to take a